Hey, y'all. How are you on this Wednesday afternoon or almost afternoon? Good to see you. Thank you, as always, for joining as I continue this series of offering some quick tips and guidance for leaders as you navigate all the things that you have to navigate as a leader. Today's topic I thought would be a good one because we hear a lot about it. And in my coaching, this is something that often comes up for those that I coach, particularly women leaders. And that is, what is this thing called work life balance? How do we actually navigate having these senior level roles, but also having other responsibilities that are upon us, whether or not that is being a caregiver to someone, either kids or maybe aging parents, or maybe you're super active in your community and you're trying to navigate that. Like, how do you balance work and your other sides of your life, right? And so today I thought I'd come on here. You know how I do it. Quick 15 minutes of some tips. Definitely trying to create space and time for questions that may come up, and hopefully you will find this as helpful to add some tools in your toolkit as our previous conversations. So here we go. My first tip on managing work life balance is to really first take stock in what are the tasks that you have upon you, right? What do you have going on? And it's like take inventory of the responsibilities that you need to figure out and to manage. And so for me, I tend to recommend and personally make lists. And I will literally go on my tablet and like, here are all the things I have going on in mommy world that I need to do this week. And here are all the things I have going on in my business, or here are all the projects I need to source or whatever. And I just make lists. Whatever that is for you to really evaluate and take inventory of what are your responsibilities that you have coming up. And I would say to truncate them. Like, not what are your responsibilities for the whole year, but like, what do you have coming up for you that are important over the next, call it 7 days, and really take some evaluation of that. And then as you do that, are there any things that are competing? So for example, for me, do I have some things that are coming up travel wise that are competing against some other priorities I have at home? And like, call that out, star that, and then start to navigate how are you going to manage, those types of conflicts. So one, take that inventory, but then as you're taking inventory, look at it and see, are there any conflicts? Are there things I could delegate? Are there things that I can move around or reprioritize because I realize, like, oh crap, that's coming up sooner. I need to finish that task out earlier because I realize the deadline is here, right? So taking stock in what you have going on is the first step in it. And part of the reason why I say that is sometimes you just need to see you need to have the chaos in front of you, like see what's going on and have awareness to it. Often we feel like things are unbalanced, but when we put it all down, we're like, oh, that scary monster is not as scary as I thought. So I highly recommend that your first step is to face it head on and take stock and evaluate what you have going on. The second thing I would say is, after you do that, ask for help and listen. I know that is a dirty word for us, right? As women leaders, we are used to like doing it by ourselves. We got this, we have a little bit of swagger to that, and pride in that. But ladies, this is not the time for that. This is not the time to act like, sisters can do it all by themselves. In fact, all the studies show that it is when you ask for help, there's so many things that does for you. One, particularly if it's relative to your team. So for example, if there's a task that you have going for you, or that you have consistently, and you delegate that or ask for help from someone on your team, what a gift that is to your team. What a gift that you're saying, I trust you with this. That's one way that could be perceived. The second is, I want to grow you and give you this task. The third is, I'm fallible and I can't do it all. Any one of those is such a gift to your team. It creates psychological safety. It creates this idea of, oh my gosh, she thinks I can do that, right? And so as the senior leader, you don't have to do it all. Wow, that's an awesome model to show. right? So any one of those three things that someone would see relative to your team, if you ask for help, they're all gifts. They're all golden. And then on the home life side, asking for help will let folks know, like, oh yeah, I'm a partner. I need to step in and help. Or I remember one time I recently asked my mom to come back in town to help us with the kids because I have some travel. And I was so nervous because I'm trying to just not burden anyone. But for her, it was a gift for me to ask. And she was like, of course, I'm happy to come and help. And it gives me time to be with my grandbabies without you there. Like she saw it as like, yes, but she literally said in her response was like, I want to help you. I just don't know how. So asking for help is such a gift to everyone, in particular yourself, to get some support and stop thinking that we have to do it all on our own to be senior, to be seen as leader. Let that tape recorder, that brand go because it is not serving you. And it's actually not serving anyone around you. Okay. So that's the second one. Ask for help. The third one, okay, this is kind of part and parcel to the second one. Listen, would you please go and tell people about your roles? Share who you are, share the hats you are wearing. Often, as women leaders, we tend to hide some aspects of our personal life at work. Not to say, I mean, obviously, if they've seen you pregnant, they know you were a mama, but you don't often say, I got to run and leave at 5 to run to a PTA meeting. Because often we've been told that, we want to be 100% on at work and we want to show we're 100% committed. So we as women tend to hide that aspect. Whereas men, honey, they will start the day telling everyone that they're going to a PTA meeting at 5:30. Because for men, some kind of way, our culture has like heralded that, oh, what a dad. But if a woman said that, they'd be like, oh, there she go leaving at 5 again to deal with these kids. Same thing, they got to go to a PTA meeting, but it's seen differently. So what has happened, particularly at the senior level, is that women stop talking about that part of them. They act like it doesn't even exist. They act like whoever they have supporting them is doing all the things when you are trying to do all the things, but just not letting everyone know. Stop that. Let's break the cycle ourselves. Let's create a space where women can freely talk about what they are doing and what hats they're wearing outside of work. Right. So if you know me, if you've been coached by me, if you've been in a project with me, likely I'm gonna lead with something that I'm dealing with these kids. And I am in the midst of, and I'm gonna talk about it, and not to overshare, right? I'm not saying to do all that, but to let you see all of me and let you see that I am able to juggle these different things. It's a model for future women coming up that they're like, oh, so you can. For me, the question will be, oh, you mean you can run a business and have small kids? I mean, yeah, you may not sleep much, but yes, you can, right? Let them see that instead of us acting like, oh no, we are just robots and just do this work thing and this other stuff we don't do. Yes, we do, y'all. So share it. It will also allow people to give you some grace and space during seasons that they know you might be a little more busy because of work or because of home life. You may need to say to someone, hey, my dad is really sick. He's staying with us for a few months. So there might be times where I need to like just be off video on Zoom because I might be tending to him. I'm still here. I'm still listening. I'm still actively involved, but I might need to do something in support of him. Wow. Wow. That level of openness and of transparency will often be a gift of someone now knowing what you have going on and may being able to support you in a different way. Who knows? They may even have a resource to share with you around that other role that you have going on. So share your hats with your team, with your leadership, with your colleagues. And also on the flip side, share your hat with your family and friends so they know that you're a senior leader and that you might have some late days or things that you need to do that you might need, again, some support on the back end. So share those hats, wear them loud and proud, right? Don't hide them under a bushel. Okay. All right, let's get to the next one. This is one that I try to say often around this notion of balance, right? When it comes to balance, I would highly recommend that you redefine what that means. Because what I think happens for us is that we think that we have to be balanced all the time. And that's just not realistic. There's going to be seasons to this thing, right? I would say, in essence, in total, is life balance. Although in the fall, if your season starts with work, if you're a university leader, the school starts in the fall. So you might have a lot going on as a dean or a lot going on as a department chair. So that might mean that it might be that you're super busy and all of your tasks are focused there, or maybe let's say 70%, and you might need a little more help on the 30% of your personal life. And so it's not going to feel super balanced. But then during the holiday season, when your kids are out of school or when you're traveling to see family, you're going to downshift some of that work stuff, and you're going to upshift the family stuff, and that role will show up more pronounced. So in totality, there might have been better balance across the board of time, but seasonally, sometimes it may feel a little lopsided. As long as you feel like the whole feels a little more balanced, I would say that's what you want to aim for. But this notion of every day being a balanced work life, that honestly, that was never a truism. It's just a label that was placed on something. Someone wrote it, and then everyone started to beat the pavement with it, and it's never been balanced, particularly for women. So look for the balance to be seasonal and total balance, not every day, every week balance. And often I try to use this kind of notion of like integration, work life integration, not using the word balance. But if you do feel that balance is the right word for you, just try to shift it to a seasonal balance. Okay, let me quickly run through this last one. And if you know me, you already know where I'm going with this last one. But here it is. So you've done all these things, and you still are like, gosh, where do I find support? And what I'm going to suggest to you is to talk to someone. That part of feeling whole and feeling balanced, even totally balanced, is to have an outlet, to share, to vent, to get feedback and ideas, to not live in your own thoughts, but to talk to someone that might be going through what you've gone through, might have already gone through it, and can give you sage advice, has an amazing listening ear and can just listen and take it in and just be that sounding board for you. It could also be professional support, like a therapist, a life coach, a professional coach. Talk to someone to help you manage the seasonality of balance, help to give you tools to support you as you move through, because this can be lonely. And so I'd want to make sure that you are feeling supported, whether or not that is through your friend group, your partner, colleagues at work, finding a village to speak through the challenges you face relative to balance is one of the biggest tips I think, particularly as women, we should take, and a tool we should use as often as possible. There are free resources for therapy if you need to find a therapist, like where you could get like 30 days free or whatever. There are some I've heard of some that are like they offer free therapy for Black moms. Like, so sometimes they can be that niche. But do some Google searching. DM me if you need it, and I can point you in some directions. But I highly recommend that you talk to friend, family, colleague, or seek professional support to help you manage this whole idea of balance or work life integration. Awesome. All right. So I've run through them, but let me just say them again quickly to help you with balancing as a female senior leader. It is first to take stock of what you have going on, prioritize, manage conflicts within all the tasks you have going on. Ask for help from friend, colleague, partner, whomever. Don't sit there and act like you got to have them on your cape, but get support where you can get it. Share your hats, share the roles you're participating in with others, redefine what that concept of balance means, and then talk to someone, y'all. Get some help where you might need it. Awesome. So we have time for maybe one question, but if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to me. There's a link in the bio for you, in the comments for you to reach out. But I have one, how can I ask for more flexibility at work without seeming like I'm slacking? And that's a great point. And I think the way you do that is to go back to that sharing your hats, right? Like, not oversharing, but letting people know what is important to you in your life and what other roles you play. That will be a foundation for people to understand, like, oh my goodness, you're managing a family member with early onset dementia. You may need some more support, but you can't ask for flexibility and not be open to sharing why, right? And again, I'm not asking you to share all of your business. I'm just saying sharing your hats will help bosses, leaders understand why you need some of the flexibility that you may need. Okay. And then the last one I'm just going to sneak in. Do you have any weekly, monthly practices you do to prioritize your workload? Absolutely. And I wish I had it out. I have a remarkable tablet that's like a paper pencil tablet. And at the start of the week, on Sundays, actually, I sit and make a running list of all the things I know I have going on. And I keep adding to that list. And then I check stuff off and go, ooh, doesn't it feel good when I check it off? I do that at the end of when I'm done. I also, and I think I might have mentioned this before, I also have this thing right on my computer. What are the top 5 things I need to do today? And that includes, I color code it because it's me, but I have different post-it notes here of how I color code task, right? For what I need to get done that day. So like the pink one will be something related to like family or whatever. This might be a priority thing. And this is like, if I can get it done this today, it's a top 5. So I know I went through that pretty fast, but those are some of the things that I do. I write it down at the start of the week, and then I put the top 5 right here on my computer screen. So I know what 5 things I must get done before I close my computer that day. Awesome. Hope that was helpful. I hope that added some really useful tools to your toolkit where you can find balance in however you define balance as a senior leader, a female senior leader. I wish you all the best. Please reach out to me if you have more questions or if you want some of the lists I recommended, because I'm happy to support you any way I can. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.